but I like to tell it. And it's when I was like 8 or 9 years old, I can't remember when, and I had to go to summer camp, and I hated it because I hated the water. It was like swimming and sailing and canoeing. It was a real disaster. I don't understand. I lived in Michigan. I was surrounded by lakes and rivers, but I had this fear of water. So what happened is I met this kid. His name was Franco at summer camp, and he was the best swimmer at camp. And he was like, it's really not that hard. You just have to move your arms and legs. So every morning he would wake me up at 6 and we'd go to Guadalupe Lake. We'd have to swim all the way across and back. And it was about a half mile across and a half mile back. And the first few times I took a little paddle, this little like styrofoam thing. And he would coax me along and say, come on, you can do it. You're not a wimp. Keep going. And I would be like 10 feet, 20 feet, 30 feet behind him. And there'd be all these piranhas swimming around us. Actually, they were probably just pieces of seaweed, but when I was a kid, I thought it was like sharks and stuff. I was freaked out, but he made me do it every morning. And by the end of the summer, I moved up from a red swimmer to a blue swimmer. So much, Franco. This one's for you. But the story gets a little weird because the last week of camp, we were doing our last swim in the morning across, and by then I had gotten rid of the styrofoam flotation device, and I was doing the breaststroke or something, I don't even remember. And we were swimming out, and it was kind of early, and it was a little cloudy, so it was a little bit dark, and there was some little bit of dark clouds, ominous rain clouds in the distance over the hills. And we got to one end and we started swimming back, and we saw out of the sky this black dot. It was getting closer and closer. And I was like, hey Franco, look at the UFO. He's like, that's not a UFO. It got closer and closer, and I said, I think that's an airplane. He's like, that's not an airplane. And then I said, actually I think that's a pterodactyl. And it seriously looked like it. It had these huge wings and this long tail with a little hammer at the end. And he was like, holy crap, you're right. We swam so fast, but it kept coming nearer and nearer, and we could hear it above us, and it was making this fluttering, buzzing noise. And when I looked behind my shoulders, I saw that it actually was striped. It was striped black and yellow, and it looked kind of like a bee. It made this hissing, buzzing sound, and it was snapping at us. And it had claws. Giant gun. It was shooting at us. We would go underneath and we'd dive really deep, like those hiding fish. And we'd come up for air, go down again like turtles, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. When we got to shore, we just ran as fast as we could to the camp, and we told all the camp counselors that the predatory bird wasp was out to get us.